Batman, the Caped Crusader, Volume 4. Now, there's something with this. There's two series going on, the Dark Knight Detective and Caped Crusader, which DC Comics did to collect the Nightfall post-crisis Batman. Now, they omitted a bunch of stories in it. Most of them came out of the Caped Crusader, not the other way around. So what happens is you want to read like Volume 5 of Dark Knight Detective first, and then you want to read Volume 4 of this. And what happens once you do that, like that's where you kind of like learn that Tim Drake becomes Robin in that Volume 5. And these are kind of his first adventures with Batman in here. And these are excellent, excellent stories through here. You get just a bunch of random stuff. You get this character right here who Bruce Wayne has to like hunt down. And this is where Tim Drake kind of comes into his own over the course of this as a kind of backup or as a sort of deal. What's interesting is the character of Batman and Bruce Wayne and all that do actually develop through this. And you don't really get that in a lot of Batman stories. So you do here. And one of the main developments of the characters throughout this entire arc is Jim Gordon. Look at this beautiful montage right here too. You get Batman fighting druggies and things like that over this book, and it's very 80s, like in that like kind of almost kind of dark way, but not quite dark. Now Jim Gordon like ends up having a heart attack and stuff from his like cigarette smoking and all that, and a lady comes into his life who like is a police officer who he wants to get back with because his wife's been dead, and so she joins the force, and he ends up going out with her, but he almost dies in the process, and so he ends up off the case, and she actually doesn't like Batman as a vigilante. Is kind of like the conflict they build on this, and so as this goes through, she like almost hunts down the Batman, and then you get an introduction of Catwoman, and so Catwoman really hasn't existed post-crisis, and you don't learn much about her other than she's like into cats on this, and she's kind of adversarial towards Batman through here, and they end up having to kind of team up against a worse adversary, and then of course she ends up teaming up with Jim Gordon's female lady during that as well. It gets kind of weird. Batman goes out west and then like deals with some like weird Native American shaman situation, which is like a 3-4 issue thing. This is my least favorite story over the course of this, and I think even though the art's really nice, I mean it's all Norm Brayfogle for the most part. I think that this part of the series like really detracted from like, oh, we were building some nice stuff with Robin and Catwoman, and now we're just kind of not. And so he fights these spirits, and he ends up getting a dog out of it, and that's he gets Ace the Bat Hound back from, of course, as they're rebuilding everything post-crisis. So that's that, and you see that this is where Tim Drake kind of becomes Robin again, and we deal with this is a end of the Batman deal universe in an annual, so it's like it's a glimpse into the future, and Batman's like being hunted down. The Joker says he's reformed, and the Joker's really not reformed, and it's a big trap for the Batman, and it's kind of a weird possible end future for Batman there. So the annual is kind of weird. That one storyline was kind of weird, but there's a huge amount of character development in this with, like I said, Tim Drake, and with Selina, and with Jim Gordon actually getting a little romance into it. So it's kind of cool on that level. Awesome stuff. Really love Alan Grant's writing. Really love Norm Brayfogle's stuff. That one storyline was kind of a miss for me, but beyond that, just absolutely solid Batman. Some of the best that you should read out there. And again, read this after Volume 5 of Dark Knight Detective. Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. I'll give it an 8 out of 10, if you were wondering. Hit the like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.